Welcome, Ohana, to the Disney Guys Uncensored. This is episode 75, recorded on August 24th, 2020. We're your hosts, Drew, Bob, Jordana, and Tim. On tonight's episode, we have our first ever Disney Parks Fantasy Draft. So come, journey with us as we build our dream Disney parks via traditional fantasy football style draft. Guys, I am ecstatic to be back. Tim Jordana did a fabulous job last week, answering that big magic question of should you go to Disney World in 2020. If you guys have not had a chance to listen to that, we really strongly recommend that episode. They did a fabulous job of just breaking down what it's like in today's world of COVID. And, it's excellent. Listen, Bob, how have you been? You had a nice week off of yourself as well.
Yeah, it was great. I almost never came back, to be honest with you, but it was great. I was very excited. I can't say enough good things about last week's episode either. I thought they absolutely knocked it out of the park, and I can't stress enough that you guys, if you have any questions regarding going to Disney in 2020, that's an episode that you must listen to. They knocked it out of the park.
Absolutely. But I know you mean that in a loving, caring way, but also a little bit serious. So I respect it.
Yes, that is correct.
But before we kick off the show, we have a returning feature. We're getting to the point on our podcast and our entertainment venue that we now have reoccurring features of like annual occurrences. It's spectacular. So what I'm speaking of is let's head on over to BuzzTube and find out what it is. Bob, it is back. What do we have going on? Really just a couple months away.
I mean, it's like a couple of weeks away.
Yeah, it's a couple weeks away, not a couple months away, Drew.
Unless you want to start mid-season, we are doing our second annual Fantasy Football League. We've made some changes to the rules this year. If you caught our pre-show, we kind of explained them a little more in depth than I'm going to do now. All I will say is we are filling up quick. Greg Cook, Holla, I know you want to be in. You are locked in. And the rest of our hosts and a couple other guys and gals are going to be joining us. We are going to do fantasy football again. Please, we will put a post out in the next day or two. Leave comments or just reach out to us and let us know, hey, I'm interested in doing that. We do have room for a couple of more teams. And if we get a real overwhelming response, I can expand the league to 16 teams if we really got that much of an answer or a response from it. So just reach out to us, like we said, and let us know if you're interested in joining our Ohana Fantasy Football League Round 2. And also, I would be remiss if we did not mention good friend of the show, Andrew Keist. He, you know him as our 5th member, and I refer to him as my Scarlett Johansson. That's kind of weird to say out loud, but anyway... He's recently released some audio tours on his website. You can find them at KeistTheHistorian.com. One of them is a historical guide to Walt Disney World, the Pirates of the Caribbean exterior. Again, Mr. Keist, if you're listening, that seems awfully specific, but it is a very good listen, and there is a historical guide to Walt Disney World, the Spaceship Earth ride-through, and he actually timed this one out as if you were on the attraction. So, by all means, give them a listen. They're a couple of bucks a piece, and they are really fun listens, and Andrew does a really good job of explaining the finer details of both of those things. So,
and Spaceship Earth not getting a refurb anymore indefinitely delayed. So you can kind of decide to have Andrew Keist as the narrator now and have your own little in-your-head refurb of Spaceship Earth.
That could have been handy for Bob.
It could have. Do we think he's going to thank the Phoenicians? I mean, that's all I want to know.
I don't know. If he could write in after he listens and let us know if he's thanking the Phoenicians.
Stay tuned if he thanks the Phoenicians, everybody. Speaking of Spaceship Earth, though, real quick, did anyone notice it's just pouring on people again?
Yes. They have a very complicated gutter system in that.
Yeah.
Oh, the gutters are malfunctioning again?
Yes.
I had not heard that, no.
Yeah. Yep.
So just another reason to take my advice from last episode and skip Epcot if you're looking to skip a park right now during the COVID times.
Anywho. All right. Thanks, Bob, for the amazing BuzzTube update, as always. But I think we have some quick items to talk about. So let's head over to the Disney News Desk.
Yeah, and just like our pre-show was sponsored by Bang Energy Drink, the Disney News Desk this week is sponsored by Bang Energy Drink, and the Disney Guys Uncensored proudly recommend Cherry Lemonade as the official drink of the Disney Guys Uncensored podcast. According to Cirque du Soleil's website, the new Disney Spring show, Drawn to Life, is now scheduled to begin performances at Disney Springs on February 10th of 2021. Right now, you can get tickets through the end of March. I don't know if this is going to be a preview run to see how it does, but I got to imagine anything Cirque du Soleil that shows up down there will draw. Lanuba for years drew business, so I don't imagine Cirque du Soleil having a problem generating hype for this show. There was some questions earlier when we did mention way back when that Cirque du Soleil actually filed for bankruptcy protection. So more to come. Please stay tuned. If we get any more information on Drawn to Life, we will pass it along. Also, Tim pointed out to me this week, I believe it was Tim, that there is a new feature on the My Disney Experience app where guests don't have to walk around the parks inquiring about walk-up seating at restaurants anymore, as that option has now been added inside the app. Basically, a quick rundown is once you open the app, you can select check dining availability, you choose the current date and your party size, then select now as the time frame, and a list of restaurants with walk-up ability will be displayed, and guests can then click the Join Walk-Up list for restaurants with space to accommodate additional guests. I guess my question on this is, what the hell took so long? This seems like such an obvious thing, and maybe it's because pre-COVID we had limited availability. Maybe there's more availability now at restaurants than there's ever been, most likely.
No, it's the other way. There's less availability. Pre-COVID, though, you could just walk up and say, hey, can you get me seated? And they would say, it'll be about 45 minutes, but sure. Now they were trained to say, as I talked about on our episode, no, you need to make a reservation of the app. Of course, at the time you couldn't do that, so this fixes that problem. But it should have just always been there for sure.
Correct. Certainly, I don't know why you wouldn't have this option for people. If they're willing to wait, what's the difference? But
hey, if it's here now, 2 thumbs up.
I give it 1 thumb. 1.5. 1.5.
Yeah, I was literally about to do the 1.5. You beat me to it. All right.
So, Drew, let's head over to the topic of the week.
Topic of the week, the Disney Park Fantasy Draft. I'm excited. I know all 3 of you guys are excited. This is going to be an absolute blast. We did our draft lottery order, took place pre-show. Legit. It took legit. It was legit. And
Tim, you need a recall.
We're happy with it.
Yeah, I just got this cough in my throat where Drew changed the website. I'm gonna
listen. Okay. Anywho,
Tim got sick and Disney.
Yeah, it sounds like maybe I should get a swab shoved all the way up my brain.
Bob, why don't you tell us about this this pretty cool vision that you have actually had for quite some time? And I think this was the perfect week to introduce this with kind of the whole fantasy football draft starting and fantasy football in general kind of making its round everywhere. And we wanted to do something a little bit more fun, laid back, and just enjoyable, and then leave it up to the listeners to kind of play along with us at the same time. So describe how this is going to work.
Basically, it's a standard fantasy draft, or a draft in general. You see behind me, I'm in my war room getting ready for the big draft. I have the first pick in the draft, so I have a lot of decisions to make. But basically, it's going to be a snake-style draft, 1 to 4. Obviously, there's only 4 of us, and then in round 2, it'll be 4. It'll be 4 to 1, which will be, kind of the snake style of it. Trades can be made. It does need to be light categorized selections for light categorized selections. Or you can swap draft picks. For instance, if Drew really wanted the Polynesian, he could offer me his number 2 pick in the first round, and I would trade him my number 1 pick, and he could pick whatever resort he wanted. We are going to try to keep it to about a minute between picks. At this point, if the pick is not submitted after about a minute and a half, the next person that is scheduled to pick will jump ahead of that person and get to pick before them. So obviously, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very exciting. We do have 10 rounds to get through. Round 1 will be resorts That includes all of the amenities, including DVC properties. That's where we're going to start. But before we get to round one, we should give you a little background about the parks that we're going to design tonight, because that's ultimately the name of the game. Is the question was posed to us, if you could build a Disney park or a Disney property using a resort and a couple restaurants, some rides from anywhere in the world, and one from each park, how would you do it? And this is how we're going to do it. We're going to do a fantasy-style draft. For me, since I have the first pick, I'll explain to you that my idea for my park is Mickey went on a global vacation and brought back attractions from around the world and built a brand new park titled Mickey's Global Adventure. Not my best work, but again, I'm excited about the concept. And Drew, since you have the second pick in the draft and your background clearly is a hint at where he's going, let's go to Drew.
Yeah, there's no secret here. Big Villains fan. I like the board game Villainous. My playlist was Villains. I'm going with Villains Utopia. Again, just a Villains themed park. Try to incorporate as much as we can. Absolutely, the Horn King, of course, and just have some fun with it. I mean, it's gonna be epic. It's gonna be hard to make a Villains themed park based on existing attractions. So maybe the name might not be the perfect, but I'll find my way in to sneak right in there. So yeah, Villains Utopia will be the name of my park.
And Jordana, since you're picking third, by some luck of the bounce of the ball, what about your park? What are we doing?
So the name of my park is Imagineer Falls, and the reason I picked that was Paradise Falls and Imagineers. So Paradise Falls from Up, which is my favorite movie. I'm kind of going for a Pixar theme here, and then Imagineers obviously make the world turn, so we're kind of going with that. And I think that just to kind of give you a background of what I'm looking at, I think the weenie of the park or the icon is going to be the giant waterfall from Paradise Falls. That would be your main thing you're looking at. That's just
I was really hoping for a Joe Rohde's ear as the weenie of the park. Also, I thought your name was the inevitable moment when he finally trips on his own ear. That was the Imagineer fall happening.
Ah, touche.
wow.
That is some next level shit right there,
That
Tim.
is
I'm proud
next
of you.
level.
That's so stupid. Go ahead, Tim. What do you got?
So I picked my name when I saw the message in the car after working like a 14-hour day. It is Cinemagine, which is the absolutely terrible name that Disney went as far as to focus group test. It was this close to renaming Disney's Hollywood Studios 2 in late 2018 in preparation for Toy Story Land and Galaxy's Edge being added to that park. And they briefly thought the Hollywood Studios didn't fit anymore because it wasn't a studio park. And luckily they decided not to. So in the spirit of bad failed Disney ideas, we'll have what Cinemagine could have been.
Ooh.
What an awful name, though. Really.
Yeah, it's not their
It
their
doesn't
best
mean
work.
anything.
Listen,
It's not their best work.
all I want to say was everyone is voting Tuesday morning. Just remember Tim's name. That's all I got to say.
You're not going to. It's very not memorable. Although some of those names in that list, if you have not, look up the list for there was like a dozen names that they tested for Hollywood Studios, and some of them are just. One of them I think is just Boomerang. There could have been a world where Hollywood Studios was just called Boomerang.
Doesn't Cartoon Network own the license to Boomerang?
I think if you name a TV network that, then they do. But yeah, I forgot that was like a cable channel for like classic cartoons.
Oh wow, that's a
Yeah. I actually have the Boomerang app on my
cut.
Yeah, I have the Boomerang app on my TV. It is amazing, by the way.
Wow.
One of the great digital channels you can subscribe to. It's like $6 a year. It is incredible.
All right, Bob.
I think we're ready to open the draft. And here we are. Mickey's, whatever the hell I'm calling it, Global Adventure is on the clock. So I now have 1 minute to make my selection. And I guess the pick is in because I've been sitting on the clock now for about an hour. I will tell you this. With the first pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft, Mickey's Global Adventure selects The Boardwalk Inn and all of its amenities.
Yeah, that's a good one there.
Big
A surprise pick. I thought All Star Sports was going to go first. I think that was everybody's feeling, but obviously Bub sees something in our Boardwalk.
That
Yeah,
was
because the key here is all of the amenities. I get the entire complex. It's brilliant. It's a great play.
that was on my short list, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I think that was on everybody's short list.
That was
Which
everything.
leaves to me here, and I guess I will go on the clock. And there's a lot of good answers here, and I have to go a lot of different ways. Damn, I haven't really put much thought into this today. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Welcome to
As you can tell, everything Bub comes with it, right? As far as like cost or tiers and all of that.
You get the entire amenities, everything. Yes.
That'd be a stupid mistake. I gotta go Polynesian. It's just the obvious answer here.
Wow. All right, so the pick is in, folks, with the second pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft. Villains Utopia selects the Polynesian Village Resort. That means whatever the hell Jordana's team name is on the clock.
Imagineer Falls, by the way.
Yes, there we go. Imagineer Falls, you're on the clock.
Okay, my pick is in. I'm going Grand Floridian.
All right. So, with the third pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft, Imagineer Falls selects the Grand Floridian out of Bay Lake.
All right, I just did a real quick rules clarification on this one, Bub. So this resort will be adjacent to. We can put it wherever we want, even if it's not real world practical.
Let's just pretend that you have a clear parcel of land and you're putting a hotel with the park. That's what. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, and we don't have to think about like zoning and all that stuff, right?
No. Zoning.
All right, I'll take Animal Kingdom Lodge. I didn't want to take Animal Kingdom Lodge if because of zoning in the Savannah, I had to like kick it several miles from everything else. So I can have an Animal Kingdom Lodge adjacent to my park. All right.
So
easy pick.
With the fourth pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft, what the hell?
Cinemagine.
Cinemagine.
Obviously, we're not in the focus group.
Cinemagine selects the Animal Kingdom Lodge. So, Drew, after round one, some not really. These are four of the best hotels on property that we could pick from. I don't think there's any surprises at all with where we went. In fact, I'll tell you that Animal Kingdom Lodge was on my short list of places, if only for the dining, which was you cannot undersell how great the dining is at that resort. So I think now we're going to move on to round number 2, which is non-resort restaurant. Just to give you an idea of what we're talking about, it can be any of the restaurants in any park. It can be any of the restaurants at Disney Springs. It cannot be a restaurant from a hotel. That is the only thing. Even the ones that weren't picked, it cannot come from a hotel. So with that, it looks like Cinemagine is on the clock with the 5th pick.
All right. This seems like a pretty easy pick. It's one of the top-rated restaurants in Florida, never mind Orlando. I am going to go with Chef Art Smith's Homecoming. Great brunch, great menu, brand new outdoor dining space, good cocktail program. Doesn't seem like a hard pick.
So with the 5th pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft, Cinemagine selects Chef Art Smith's Homecoming. That means Imagineer Falls, you're on the clock.
Okay.
Shit, I gotta write that down. It's a lot of work.
Now, can I ask this? Are we putting our restaurant in our park, or are we putting our restaurant like with our hotel?
It's a big fat, I don't give a shit where you put your restaurant. It's your park.
All right. This episode just got explicit. So, so I'm picking this because I'm putting it with my resort. My pick is in.
Okay.
I'm picking Be Our Guest.
All right. With the 6th pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft, Imagineer Falls select Be Our Guest out of the Magic Kingdom Park.
taking it because I think it would go nice with the Grand Floridian.
Yeah, where are you gonna put it in the Grand Floridian though? That's my question.
A little bit outside the Grand Floridian. We're gonna
Oh, okay. Oh, so Beast Castle, the drawbridge, and all that is gonna be. Gotcha.
Intense. That's intense.
Drew, I'm looking to make a trade.
Oh dear.
I'm looking to trade up to number 3, and you will get my 4th and my 2nd round and my 3rd round first pick.
For what?
For your 3rd pick now and your 2nd pick in the next round.
And I get what?
You get my 4th.
Correct.
And my 1st in the round 3, which would be retired attraction.
That makes sense. Complicated.
Does it?
I mean, I really only have one restaurant that if you picked it, I'd be screwed, and I'd go over my time limit.
Okay, but ultimately, no one else can pick another restaurant. So you can take as long as you want. If I picked the restaurant you wanted.
Yeah, but what if you picked it? I don't think you're picking it.
Okay.
It's too risky. It's
The
too
offer's on the
risky.
table.
It's too risky. I can't take
No
this.
deal. Okay, no deal.
No deal. It's too risky.
All right.
With that being said, I'm going to go ahead over to Disney Springs, because who wouldn't? And, of course, pick the Edison.
Bitch.
Yes! Great heads-up play. Great play.
With the 7th pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft,
Is that
Villains Utopia selects the Edison
where you
from
were going?
Disney Springs. I was.
Oh, wow. That's
Are you gonna
awful.
put it in the park, Drew? Because that's like you could do some light theming and make that awesome in a villains themed park.
I to be determined where I put it. I'll have to think about that and recap at the end of the show.
All right. I guess this is the 8th pick. I guess that Mickey's Global Adventure is on the clock. Please stand by.
Rainforest Cafe.
T-Rex.
T-Rex. I was gonna say
T-Rex.
Hey, food's not bad. I stand by that.
Uh-oh.
You know, when I did it, when we were our Travelmation retreat, we did breakfast at T-Rex.
I never did that.
No, but they have like a French toast that is phenomenal. I don't know if they actually serve it or if we just rented the restaurant because it was just us, but top notch. Right?
I had a cinnamon bun the other day, dipped in French toast batter. Now that was
sounds
delicious.
amazing. I've
That
had
was-
that before. The cinnamon roll French toast is.
Oh,
A+.
I've had that too. Oh my god, it's so sugary though.
Well, the pick is in.
Oh, good. We're just trying to get
Yeah.
some time. We're trying to give it an extra minute or two, bub.
With the 8th pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft, Mickey's Global Adventure selects The Boathouse from Disney Springs.
Heavy Disney Springs round of all, anything any of us could have picked. We went heavy on the Disney Springs stuff.
Yeah. Yep. So that concludes round 2. Art Smith's Homecoming. Be Our Guest, The Edison, and The Boathouse. Some great dining selections there, guys. Let's be honest. With so many, I mean, there's over 200 restaurants on property that we probably could have picked from 150 of them, to be honest. Great restaurants all around here. Any surprises through 2 rounds with some of the picks?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I thought Jordana was going pop all day, round 1.
I am a big pop fan, but the thing that drove me away from pop was as far as there is no sit down restaurant. So I had to go big with the sit down restaurants. Obviously, the Grand Floridian has a lot more to offer with that.
True. Animal Kingdom Lodge, I figured that was definitely a no-brainer. I was close to picking that, Tim. I'm sure if I picked it, you would have picked Polly.
Yeah, I thought Polly was just the number 1 overall, no matter what.
No, Boardwalk was jumping out at me too, though.
No surprises. I think the biggest surprise in the resort round was Grand Floridian, to be totally honest.
I
just
agree with that.
It smells like old people.
Yeah, it's kind of.
You know what? For all those listeners, the thing with the Boardwalk Bubble, which I liked as you picked, because I feel like that's a resort a lot of people forget about or don't even go to, and it's a good place if you have a day off just to go. I mean, maybe not right
Great
now during
pool.
COVID, but
Great
just
pool,
go
great
hang out.
amenities. Yep.
If you
Yeah,
want to see a
just go walk.
nightmarish chair that the cast members
Ah!
move every day.
Yeah, that thing's creepy.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So on to round 3.
Yes, we are on to round 3, and round 3 is where we kind of get into the real fun aspects of this draft. We are doing attractions. And round 3, the pick is already in for the 9th pick. And the 9th pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft, the anchor of my park will, no question, be Horizons from Epcot.
The least surprising pick of the whole draft
Yes,
was Bob
yes.
Hess' number 1 pick in this category.
Yeah. So with that, Villains Utopia is on the clock.
Man, I mean, there's so many good options here. You got Body Wars. You got, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Play it. I mean, endless opportunities. But I'm going to leave Mr. Toads for Tim. And I, of course, am going to go then no other, the Extraterrestrial Alien Encounter, my friends.
Great pick. It was on my short list.
That was my number 1 pick for this category.
Yeah.
All right. That means that Imagineer Falls is on the clock with the 11th pick.
There's a lot of good ones on here.
There are.
I mean, Primavale Whirl or whatever.
That's not that. That is not a good one.
Yeah, that was recently
Primeval
retired.
World is not good whatsoever. Nightmarishly bad, some would say. Full of bees, others would say. And they wouldn't be wrong.
Still hurt from the first time I wrote that in 2016. But I'm going The Great Movie Ride.
It's a great pick. With the 11th pick
It's a
in
good
the
one.
Disney Parks Fantasy Draft, Imagineer Falls selects The Great Movie Ride
You're
from
0 for 3 naming that.
Disney MGM Studios. And with that, Send Us Something or Other is on the clock.
Cinemagine is on the clock, and since
Cinema-
Delta Dream Flight, my literal favorite attraction,
Oh, that's a good
is
ride.
not on this list. I can't pick it. I guess to go. With
No,
the
I
theme
didn't
of
put it
our
on there,
park-
Tim. Hold
no,
on,
you have
no,
If
Tim.
I Had Wings,
Wait.
but no.
No,
I
no,
can't-
you're
I'm
no,
not
that's a
taking
loophole. No, that's a loophole. I do apologize.
Okay.
I meant to put it on there, to be honest with you, because
Okay.
it was because I only put the one, but it was supposed to be both because it was so similar of an attraction.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I
that's
still
my
feel
fault.
like it doesn't fit the theme of my park, so we're gonna go with Captain EO, the George Lucas, Michael Eisner, Michael Jackson combination thing. Apparently planned at a meeting at the roller skating club at Pleasure Island was where they chose to meet to plan that attraction.
What is the theme of the idea of your park after picking Captain EO?
Cinemagine, baby.
Cinemagine. Is there anything more Cinemagine than Captain EO? Come on.
Francis
know,
Ford
I-
Coppola. I mean, that's
Yeah.
a come on, Angela Bassett.
Maybe
that's
a
a
little
good
bit of food.
The
Ross in
stars
there.
are all out to play.
So with the
And
12th
also
pick-
that furry ball is out to play. And the robot.
Hooter.
Yeah.
Hooter. So with the 12th pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft, and I think to this point, the most surprising pick in the draft, Captain EO goes to Cinemagine. So guys, obviously this round was spearheaded by Horizons, which surprised absolutely nobody for me. And Great Movie Ride were off the board as well. Not surprising in any way. We did leave on this list, by the way, the entire complete version of the studio's backlot tour.
That
Which,
would be my
I
pick.
mean, Tim,
Oh
that-
my god,
Tim, I
yeah.
really felt like that probably for Cinemagine would have made a ton of sense for you. But
Yeah. I don't know. I've been on a Captain EO kick for the last couple days. So
there's
sorry.
a couple of
influenced
great
it.
Michael Jackson jams in that show, so I had no problem with that. You're not going to Universe of Energy, another of Tim's favorites. I tried to bait him.
Yeah, but I mean that ride actually sucks and is bad. But
No, the original version was very good. The original version was okay. Maybe
I
not.
only ironically like that ride.
Yeah. So we do have 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which was on there as well, just to give some people an idea of what else we had on there. Mission to Mars, which obviously was in the same theater as Andrew's Alien Encounter. The original Living Seas and Sea Base Alpha was on there. World of Motion was on there, The Timekeeper, and for some reason nobody picked the Skyway to Fantasyland and Tomorrowland, which I thought was a surefire hit, the akin to taking Tom Brady in the first round of a fantasy football draft.
Wait. No, obviously Stitch's Great Escape is the equivalent of taking Tom Brady in the first round of the fantasy
That's fair.
football draft.
That is fair. Not that we're having a go at Jordana or anything, but
No, I mean, how many times have you mentioned this today?
quite a few. So we're ready. The Cinemagine is on the clock with the 13th pick in round four, which is our first of 2 consecutive rounds that will feature foreign attractions and Disneyland attractions. So with this list, I'll be honest, I tried to take things that were inherently different from the parks. Now, you're going to say to yourself, well, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride was on the retired list. That was strictly retired attractions from Walt Disney World. But Mr. Toad's Wild Ride did not make the foreign/Disneyland list. To give you an idea of what I'm talking about, Peter Pan's Flight in Shanghai Disneyland and Pirates of the Caribbean in Shanghai Disneyland are fairly significantly different than what we have here. So those are actually on the foreign/Disneyland list as well. A lot of good choices here, boys and girls. I'm excited because I want to know where Tim's going to go with this, and I'm actually excited to have him on the clock first.
I don't take both of mine at once, right?
Nope. You take one. You take your first one, and then you take your one in 7 picks from now, or whatever, however many picks it is.
All right. This is a hard one, being first pick, because this is quite a list. But I think I have to take. I have to take Sinbad's Storybook Voyage. I knew it.
I put it on there for you, Tim.
Literally just one of the best rides at any park. I don't know if somebody's echoing. All right. Somebody got their sound on?
Well, I do, but is that better?
Keep going. Yeah, we're fine.
Yeah. Sorry, I was very it's just an excellent ride. Great. I don't know if anybody else is gonna take it, but I can't risk it. So I'm taking Sinbad's for the song, for the ride. It's a long ride. It's a great ride. So yeah, that one.
So with the 13th pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft, Cinemagine selects Sinbad's Storybook Voyage from Tokyo Disney Sea. And Imagineer Falls? Did I get it right this time?
Yes.
You are on the clock, and it looks like Mickey's Global Expedition, or whatever the hell I'm calling it, is willing to offer you a trade.
All right.
I love the effort.
So Mickey's Global Adventure is looking to trade up into the 2nd pick of this round, and he's willing to obviously trade you the 4th pick this round and the 1st pick next round. So we'd swap picks where I would get this pick, you would get the 4th and 1st pick. You get the 4th in round 4, the 1st in round 5,
Ooh,
and I would get the 3rd pick in round 5.
You know what, bub? I'll take you up on that.
I like it.
Impressive.
I like it.
But you can
no more Tom Brady jokes?
No more Tom Brady jokes.
That seems fair. So we have, at the 14th pick, we have a trade. Mickey's Global Adventure is trading up, and Imagineer Falls is trading down to the 4th pick in this round. And they will also swap picks in round 5.
Yes.
So allow me to update the big board here.
In other words, 90% of our listeners have no idea what the hell you just said.
No.
That's okay. That's the beauty of this live draft, is we're having fun with it.
It's beauty and it is live.
With the 14th pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft, Mickey's Global Adventure selects Phantom Manor from Disneyland Paris.
Great pick.
And that means that Villains Utopia is on the clock.
Yes. A lot of good options left here. And there's there's a few that I really, really want. And let's see. I can tell you right now what Tim's next pick will be.
I don't think you can.
Wow. Yeah, I'm just going to do it because it's one of my favorite rides. It's believe it or not, one of my favorite franchises. And I'm heading over to Disneyland, bub. Let's go Radiator Springs Racers.
I knew it.
That was going to be mine. God damn it.
Another excellent pick.
Shouldn't have made that trade.
No, bub. Don't talk. I'm going to give you one of the... There we go. Sorry, niche.
That's fair.
The video is also live, Jordan. Just remember.
So I'm on the clock, right?
Hold on, we gotta make it official. With the 15th pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft, Villains Utopia selects Radiator Springs from Disney's California Adventure. Now Imagineer Falls is on the clock for the next 2 picks, actually.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna bring some excitement to my park. You ready?
Okay.
All right. With my round 4 pick, I am going the Incredicoaster.
It's a good pick. It's a great pick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So with the 16th pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft, Imagineer Falls selects the Incredicoaster from Disney's California Adventure. Who knew that park was going to have 2 picks in this round? So after round 4, we're starting to see a semblance of where we're going with attractions and things like that. The Incredicoaster, a sleeper pick. We had our first where I traded up to the second pick to take Phantom Manor, and Jordana did get the 4th pick in this round, which became Incredicoaster. Andrew took Radiator Springs, a great attraction, and obviously we suckered Tim into Sinbad's Storybook Adventure. Great pick, though. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, Tim. Sorry. See, this is why you should have handled this part, But, so really, a lot of fun things happened here. First trades, obviously very exciting. Anything that stands out to you guys with the foreign and Disneyland list? Did we miss anything on the list, or is it a pretty comprehensive list?
Like on the total list of things we can pick from, or on our picks?
On the specific foreign Disneyland list.
I think you covered everything that we'd want to cover. Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, there's still there's a lot of good ones here, Bob. That's
there's so many rides at Disneyland and
just in
Tokyo
general.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Looks like the Imagineer Falls is on the clock for the 17th pick. And the first pick in round number 5, which is also the foreign/Disneyland attraction.
I'm stuck between 2. You know what? I'm going to stay with the exciting coaster theme. I'm going to go Crush's Coaster.
Ooh,
Disneyland's
that's
Paris
a sleeper
Studios
from the
Park.
Studios Park. That's a great pick. So with the 17th pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft, Imagineer Falls select Crush's Coaster from Disneyland's Paris Studios Park. That means Villains Utopia is on the clock.
Now that's not a much better name than Cinemagine.
Ding ding, we have a trade proposal. Trade proposal.
Can't trade. It's not even your turn.
No, I'm offering you a trade.
Okay.
I'm on the phone. I'm calling you.
Okay.
I am willing to trade you my 3rd pick here in this round to jump up 1 spot, and you can have the 1st pick in round 7, and I'll take the 2nd pick in round 7, which would be the pick of Epcot.
Epcot's tough. There's not a lot of it.
Yeah, I was going to say, Epcot's scraping the literal bottom of the barrel.
Bob, those guys behind you don't look like they're working too hard. Just
they fell asleep. It's not good.
It's not going too well for you, buddy.
Hey, they're sending me these trades, though. It's good.
I should go a few avenues here. No, you know what? Well, you know what? I know what you're going to pick for Epcot. That's the problem.
Do you?
Yeah. I mean, that's a given. Let's be honest.
Do you?
Certainly isn't Canada far and wide.
I might shock the world with my Epcot pick.
No.
This guy, he's tough to trade with.
No trade. No
so
trade.
you are officially on the clock.
I'm on the clock. Yep. Now, as much as I want to pick Peter Pan's Flight, so I could technically have 2 Peter Pan attractions in my park, I won't do it.
Yep, good idea.
Be bold. It'd be bold.
Yep.
For those out there that have never seen a video of this, you have to watch this. And I am going.
Hold on, before you make this pick, I'm willing to
Yes.
offer you every number one pick I have for the rest of the tournament to move up one slot, and I'll take your pick in every other round.
No, because
have
you're
Every
you are
other number one pick.
you are legit going to take my
Tim is
attraction.
not feeling it.
I think mine is falling apart. I think I was counting on you guys not knowing this.
This attraction is something you must go watch right now. And I'm shocked it's here 6 pits later. And that's Pirates of the Caribbean Battle of the Sunken Treasure.
Oh, I was just counting on you guys not knowing.
No,
yeah,
it
this
is a
is
Why would we
phenomenal.
not? That's probably the best
Absolutely.
Disney attraction in the world.
yeah, it
I'm
is
gonna have to watch
in,
this after.
in contention with Rise of the Resistance and Flight of Passage in most theme park fans' minds for best theme park attraction in the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. All right.
So with the
someone send me a video
18th
of
pick,
this.
with the 18th pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft, Villains Utopia selects Pirates of the Caribbean Battle of the Sunken Treasure from Shanghai.
Did he get
Jackass.
Mystic Manor in the round before?
No, Radiator Springs.
Oh, okay. I thought you were completely blowing us out.
So, I guess with the 19th pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft, to have another anchor from the foreign parks, the Mickey's Global Adventure selects 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea from Tokyo Disney.
Good one.
Good pick.
I'm
Underrated
surprised
ride.
it's so late, honestly.
And with that, Cinemagine is on the clock, and I think I know where he's going to go, but we'll see.
I think so too.
I think we're going to go Indiana Jones, specifically the
Wow.
Tokyo Disneyland version for the much improved practical effects in the back
Not
half
what I
of
was
the
thinking.
ride.
Oh, that was not why
Come on, that ride is another, that was the best ride in the world for a while. Did you think I was going Journey to the Center of the
Of
Earth?
course.
No, I thought you were.
It's too short.
I thought you were going Mystic Manor from Hong Kong, to be honest
No,
with
somebody
you.
already took Mystic Manor.
No, I took Phantom Manor from Paris.
Oh, no, then I'll take Mystic Manor. Sorry. I thought
It wasn't an option.
I thought Mystic Manor was off the board.
Nope.
My bad.
So-
100%
All right,
Mystic
so
Manor.
With the 20th pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft, Cinemagine does the right thing and takes Mystic Manor from Hong Kong Disneyland.
Yeah. I should have just taken Pirates on the first one. I was counting on you guys not knowing that it was
That's bold.
a totally different ride than every other Pirates.
It's the
That's
greatest.
like leaving, that's like leaving Tom Brady for the second round.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't
No,
do that.
you know,
Can't do it.
Drew
And
and
I didn't
I
make that
banned.
joke.
Only you were banned, Bob, for making
Can't
that
do it.
joke.
Can't do it. I quit. Bye.
She's off the show. Bye.
Never.
All right, so that was fun because that was one of those that we some of the park stuff, Tim was banking on us being homers and not knowing about Pirates of the Caribbean Battle for the Sunken Treasure. See, we had 2 attractions from Paris. We had 2 from California Adventure, 2 from Tokyo, and 1 from Hong Kong, guys, and 1 from Shanghai. So we kind of spread the level. We spread the love around a little bit to the various parks. So that's
The original Disneyland, nothing got picked.
yeah. Well, you know what? When you look at the technological marvels of what we picked, it's kind of hard to pick something. For instance, like Matterhorn bobsleds, despite its obvious legendary status, it's tough to pick that over some of the attractions we picked. And to be honest with you, I honestly really wanted to pick, believe it or not, Roger Rabbit's Cartoon Spin to have like
That's
a
a good
dark
ride.
ride. And
Yeah.
it's fun, but ultimately, because I took Phantom Manor when I did, I just thought that would kind of balance out my dark ride and then grab 20,000 Leagues because I have a soft spot for 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
You do. Good
So-
stuff
Alright.
there. Good round.
Good round. Good round.
So
That was the most competitive round so far for sure.
Well, we certainly, yeah. I mean, I thought we all were gonna pick Pirates before Andrew did at 18. That could be the best value pick of this draft to this
Oh
point.
yeah, no,
That's
for
your
sure.
guys'
To
fault.
get
I agree with
Pirates where he did by
Yeah.
far.
Yep. So round 6 is Show Parade Nighttime Spectacular, and when I was doing my research for this list, I said There's not a lot to pick from Disney World, so I went ahead and added some of the stuff from foreign parks. We have a couple from Tokyo, a couple from Hong Kong, one from Disneyland, and one from Shanghai on this list as well. You're asking yourself, what is a show, parade, nighttime spectacular, etc.? Festival of the Lion King would be considered a show. Finding Nemo the musical would be a show. The Frozen sing-along would be a show. Indiana Jones would be a show. Beauty and the Beast live on stage. Parades, that's pretty self-explanatory. It's not a ton. And then nighttime spectaculars, also Happily Ever After, Epcot Forever, Fantasmic, things like that. So with that, Cinemagine is on the clock with the 21st overall pick and the first pick in round number 6.
Me? Sorry. Is it
Yeah,
me?
Cinemagine.
Sorry.
Yeah, you don't know your own.
Easy pick. Big Band Beat, the best live show in any theme
So-
park. I'd say go look it up on YouTube, but it is so good, and the actors they poach for Broadway that they ban filming and will stop you and kick you out of the park if they catch you filming it.
Wow.
Tim, again, this one, deep research for me. I saw it and said, I'm going to put that under debate, Tim. That's what I'm going to do. And you took it, and I'm proud of you. I knew you'd do it.
Just wanted to leave yourself open for other options.
Such a good show.
So with the 21st pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft, Cinemagine selects Big Band Beat from Tokyo Disney Sea. And that means my favorite team is on the clock with Imagineer Falls.
Alrighty.
Making the Tom Brady of nighttime spectacular /show/parade picks.
That was not me. Just so we're clear.
Guys, we're not friends tonight, okay? I have to do Happily Ever After is my pick. I have to do that. It's my
Interesting.
favorite.
Better than Wishes?
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that.
It's more of like a
It's a
memory
different show.
thing.
It's a
It is
show.
different. It's different, but I agree. I enjoy Happily Ever After more than Wishes.
No, Wishes was the greatest show ever.
No,
besides
I
Illuminations.
agree with them.
But I agree with
guys
Happily
are
Ever
nuts.
After.
You guys, obviously, you agree with it. You picked it. So
Well,
with the
I agree that's
22nd,
better.
with the 22nd pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft, Imagineer Falls selects Happily Ever After, which will be taking place on Paradise Falls.
Right above the waterfall.
And Villains Utopia is up next with the 23rd pick and the third pick in this, the 6th round of our draft.
Do I want to trade on the table here, Bob? Do we need a trade? No.
I don't know. Do you have to have a trade? I don't know. It's your call. It's your pick. The last time I tried to make a pick when it wasn't my round, you guys yelled at me, and I said, okay.
No, I mean I could go for a few here. There's nothing I'm sold on, but I obviously you guys know my favorite show, so let's go with it. Let's go Fantasmic.
The pick is in, folks. It's
that's
clearly
an easy pick.
with the 23rd pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft. Villains Utopia selects Fantasmic, and it's actually quite apropos because that show features so many villains that it wouldn't have made sense to be anything else but
I'll
that.
tell you what, Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular was not far behind my choice.
It should have been far behind.
Yeah, that's
Stop
unfortunate.
it. That's underrated and you know it.
Compared to Fantasmic,
Have any of you guys seen the video that recently came out of the one night only performance of Indiana Jones Spectacular?
I have not.
It is something to behold.
I don't know if you say that meaning a good thing or a bad thing.
No, it's very cool. Also, did we just lose Bub?
nope.
Nope.
There he is.
He's here.
Okay, we
Now
lost
you've
your
muted Bub.
video for a
There
second.
we go. Yeah,
Hit the
we're
wrong
good.
button. Sorry about that.
Yep, no
It
problem.
happens. Happens to the best of us.
Yep.
Let's keep going here. So,
So with the 24th pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft, the Mickey's Global Adventure selects. I don't even know what the hell I pick here. This was not a good run for me here. We're going to go Dreamlights at Tokyo Disneyland. We're going to a nighttime show at my park. We're going to go Dreamlights from Tokyo Disneyland.
all right. I'll be honest. I don't know too much about that
A
one.
little lesser known show, but I wanted to get a nighttime show in there. So that's the pick. Probably the biggest reach of the draft to this point here in the 6th round. But through 6 rounds, guys, these parks are really coming together, and you're kind of seeing where we're all leaning. For us, obviously, I think we all kind of necessarily go nighttime spectacular, but a show that could be entertaining at any time of day. but we obviously, three of us prioritize nighttime entertainment for our guests. So certainly, I will tell you, if we had done retired nighttime shows, I clearly would have picked Illuminations, and I would have traded everything to get that pick in the number one pick in this round, because it would have been Illuminations as my pick.
I couldn't figure out why Illuminations was on there until I put two and two together and realized retired shows were not on there.
So ultimately, I would love I would have loved to have Harmonious on here, because I think that's going to be the much better show to Epcot Forever. But ultimately, it was Epcot Forever. I think Harmonious is going to be legit.
What the hell's the name of the water show at California Adventure?
World of Color.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
At Disneyland. Yep.
I enjoyed that one. Not as
So-
It's good. It's good.
I'm going to tell you, I almost went Paint the Night Parade from Hong Kong. It used to be in Disneyland, because that's a really fun parade. But ultimately, I went Dreamlights. I think it's a fun little show.
Can I ask something? Why didn't you do like seasonal, like obviously Halloween parties aren't going on right now, but the Boo to You parade?
I would have picked that.
Because
that would have been an easy pick for everybody, right?
Because here's the problem with doing that parade on this list. We'd still be arguing about trades on who got what.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, Drew would trade everything to have it for the Villains Park, right?
Absolutely.
Drew would trade his entire park for that one pick.
Love that pick.
I will go last every round.
That's probably one of my favorite Disney experiences. Drew's
park would be Phantasmic on one side and the Boo to You parade on the other.
That's it.
That's what his park would be. That's it.
And it only can take place at night, also.
With the Horn King's castle in the middle.
So, great. The Horn King. Is you going to have his cauldron out there, too?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Our time has arrived.
Of course.
Horn King.
All right.
So we are on the clock at Epcot in round 7. This is pick number 25 overall. And it seems like Mickey's Global Adventure is on the park. So the next few rounds here are going to be all Disney World attractions. So bear with us here. This could get interesting, and this is where I think you could see some trades being made for different parks. To be honest, so I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to make a call to any of you guys. If anybody wants this pick, make me an offer.
Not willing to give anything up for it.
Yeah, it is what it is. I'll get whatever.
That is devastating.
I'm mad I'm wasting a number 2 pick, to be honest. Never mind number 1.
Yeah, I'm very happy this is my number 4.
So I guess I'm on the clock, and I'm going to take all of my time here because I don't know what to do with this pick. Can I trade out of this spot just for like cash considerations later on? I
guess technically you should just not pick, but you don't gain anything out of that. You just lose your pick.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, I guess. I guess the pick is in, and with the 25th pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft, God, Mickey's Global Adventure selects Test Track from Epcot. I guess is the pick here.
So much passion and commitment in that pick.
And I love Test Track. But Mickey's Global Adventure selects Test Track with the first pick in this round and the 25th pick overall. That means that my good friend Villains Utopia is on the clock with pick number 26.
Well, I couldn't pick Test Track because I have already Radiator Springs there. I hate Living with the Land. I hate Soarin'. Let's be honest. If someone picks one of the videos, God bless them. There's really one option here for me, Frozen Ever After.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a little surprising. I would have thought you were going to go Mission Space, but I like where your head's at.
I'm thinking of, I'm going for the win here, and I'm thinking of the Voters. A lot of people don't like that ride.
You're going with the Voters.
The most polarizing ride at any Disney park.
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm just building a park that I want to build. I don't give a crap about the listeners.
I like Frozen Ever After.
No offense, listeners. We wouldn't be anywhere without you.
I'd still prefer that over Mission Space there.
Well, with the 26th pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft, Villains Utopia selects the decidedly unvillain-like Frozen Ever After, and that means that Imagineer Falls is on the clock.
All right. Here's the thing. I'm torn. Okay, but I don't want Spaceship Earth because
Gonna pick Grand Fiesta Tour.
I
100%.
would usually
Specifically with the animatronic that has fallen over
because then
from
that
overindulgence.
go in my park too. No, I would choose Spaceship Earth because it's one of my favorite rides, but it doesn't really go with my theme, and it's too much of a big park thing for my park. So I'm going the Seas with Nemo and Friends, including Turtle Talk, because you get 2 for 1.
That is a good pick.
Well, you get the whole place.
You also get a
huh?
world-class
Yeah.
aquarium.
Well, it says it right there.
Aquarium.
I mean, it's on the way. That's a great pick. I no
Still
problem. That's a
doesn't fit
great
my
pick.
theme.
I don't know what your theme is at this point.
Mine?
Claire.
No, Andrew's, not yours.
It's the only off-color pick is the Frozen he just took because he wants the pander.
He
Hey.
does. That's true. I hope he loses votes for that reason.
Yeah.
That won't happen.
That's
Hey,
true.
I can make Hans a dominant character.
All right. So before I make this pick, I gotta propose a trade, but not for this route. So, Bub, are you interested in trading my number one pick in Animal Kingdom for your number one pick in Studios? No.
Wow.
I mean, I'm gonna need more than that to be honest with you, because I mean,
That's a good one.
Yeah. All right. So what about my number one pick in Magic Kingdom and my number one pick in Animal Kingdom for your number one pick in Studios?
Wow.
I mean, I know where you're going in the Studios, and I don't really care where you go in the Studios because I'm not going where you're going.
You're going
So I'll
ass.
make that because I'll make that trade because I want your number one pick in Animal Kingdom, but I just squeezed you so I get the first pick in Magic Kingdom as well. So I'll do that trade.
All right. In that case, I will take Soren.
Boo.
It's a good pick.
Good pick.
Yeah.
Good
I
pick.
just don't want that ride system twice.
Yeah, no, right play, and I know where you're going. Nope,
Yep,
I knew where we were going. So with the 28th pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft, Cinemagine selects Soren, and he got booed out of the building. This is like the Jets when they take like a fat defensive lineman for no reason whatsoever in the second round.
What am I supposed to take with these dregs that we have left?
Well, we left Living with the Land. I mean, you're a big fan of that.
Yeah.
I am, but like, I don't. For as few attractions as these parks we're just starting up have, I don't know if boat ride through greenhouses is really where we want to be to attract ticket buyers day one.
So I am shocked that Mission Space stayed on the board, but as much as I love it, I understand why it is not.
It's the only ride in Disney parks that there are certain people who physically cannot do the ride.
Yeah, I can't do it. I'll be done for the day.
All right, I'm just fixing the board, so you guys can talk about that round however it went, because I need to fix the board up a little bit to show the last trade we made.
I know I've been like the harping on Epcot guy for the past month or so, but man, I think that round really illustrated to me how much that park needs to get its act together, because nobody sounded particularly excited about their Epcot picks.
Well, that's the thing. I love Test Track. That's the thing. I just whatever. It's kind of like, whatever. I'm taking Test Track, so that's it.
Yeah, I would have took Test Track, but obviously with Radiator, it wouldn't be.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. So I was going to offer that trade to you when you took Radiator. That made no sense for you to make that trade. And I'm going to be honest. If we had done that trade for whatever reason, I honestly would have taken Soren before I took Mission Space because I knew where I was picking at Animal Kingdom. But since Tim was so generous to offer that trade for basically trading. All right, the trade, honestly here, guys, just so you know, the round 8 and round 9 trade that we just made is clearly Flight of Passage for Rise of the Resistance, if we're being honest. And I could pencil those picks in right now, but that is clearly the trade that was made. I just happened to squeeze Tim's grapefruits a little bit to get the first pick in Magic Kingdom as well. So... but yeah, so I'm excited about where we're going, and with that, I am on the clock, and with the 29th pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft, Mickey's Global Adventure selects Flight of Passage from Pandora. And that means that Imagineer Falls is on the clock.
All right. you know, not a ton goes with my theme here, but I'm gonna pick Expedition Everest.
It's a great
Wow.
pick.
I mean,
Great
your
pick.
theme is a thrill park because
It's a lot of fun.
you did a lot of roller coasters here, which I like.
I'm making it. And you know what? I might take the Yeti out. I might try to make it, I don't know, somehow Pixar.
Do
But
not bring your
something
kids
Pixar's
under
gonna
38 inches to
Yeah.
Jordana's park.
Correct.
fit.
They are you're gonna be rider swapping your brains out all day
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So that means that Villains Utopia is on the clock for round number 8.
All right, let's see my options here. A lot of options here at Animal Kingdom. I mean, obviously not River Journey. I mean, I'm just shocked that the safari is still here. As much as I love Dinosaur and it fits my theme, I mean, I would be stupid not to pick Kilimanjaro Safari. Lock it in.
That's a good pick. With the
pick.
31st pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft, Villains Utopia selects Kilimanjaro Safaris, which, again, nothing to do with Villains, but is perhaps the best ride in that park, legitimately. But I went Flight of Passage for Technological Marvel. Great pick. And that means that Cinemagine is on the clock,
All
back
right,
to back.
Yeah, we're gonna take Dinosaur.
Yeah. Yep.
We're gonna tune up those animatronics a little bit, get them back to their former shine, and rock and roll with some Dinosaur.
Oh, I'm in. If you're gonna give me the original version of like Countdown to Extinction, where it was legitimately intense, I am in.
I mean, if we're allowed to do that, then yeah, we'll make it super scary, and we'll get back to Countdown. Sponsored by McDonald's.
Because Countdown to Extinction was incredible. What a God. All right. Anyway, so guys, Animal Kingdom. Let's be honest. These 4 rides are clearly the best 4 rides in that park. I don't know that any of them lost this round in round 8. I think they're all great attractions, and probably to this point, I don't know, the foreign parks are pretty good, but this might have been our best round picking attractions-wise with Flight of Passage, Expedition Everest, Kilimanjaro Safari, and Dinosaur. Great picks all around, guys. I enjoyed the Animal Kingdom round. And we're going to head over to the Disney Hollywood Studios where Tim is officially on the clock, and that means that Rise of the Resistance is coming off the board, but we'll wait till the pick is in to make it official.
The pick is Rise of the Resistance. It's the best experience at any theme park in the world right now. It just pre-shows, the ride, everything amazing, start to end.
So with the 33rd pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft, Cinemagine selects Rise of the Resistance from Disney Hollywood Studios. That means that Villains Utopia is on the clock.
Yes, indeed. Okay, let's see here. Oh,
Muppet
an
Vision.
alien swirling saucers. Good damn ride.
Ass.
Well, let me take a quick peek at my the board here and see what I need. You know,
Jordana, get your clock ready, because if he goes over long, you can jump up and take this pick.
I don't have a roller coaster, and this park happened to have 2 amazing roller coasters. And the question comes down: do you want to go with that kid-friendly roller coaster, or do you want the epic? Tower of Terror? Damn it! I mean, again, I'm going Tower of Terror.
Okay.
You gotta take the
I was
best
saying, if you
available
left
ride.
out of the board, you're a madman, Drew.
I know. Tower of Terror, best available
You
ride,
have to
100%.
take the best available ride. That's
that.
Yep.
Fact.
That's the right call. So that's with the 34th pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft. Villains Utopia selects Tower of Terror, which actually fits the theme to his park this time. And we are headed to Imagineer Falls with the 35th pick.
Okay. So this is tough for me. You got 3 rides that go with my theme.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do I want to keep it thrill and go with Slinky Dog, or do I want to maybe tone it down, make it a little more family friendly? Toy Story Mania. Here's my thing with Toy Story Mania. I took Sal on it, and he whipped his head into the little bar thing. I don't think that should be family friendly right there. But I'm gonna bring it some fun. I'm going Toy Story Mania.
Boy, okay. Well, with the 35th pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft, Imagineer Falls selects Toy Story Mania out of Toy Story Land in Disney's Hollywood Studios. And that means that Mickey's Global Adventure is on the clock with a really tough choice ahead of him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy. So for a park that I think is a shell of itself, this might be the hardest decision I've had all night.
So I don't think, after looking at this list, I don't think it's a shell of itself. I think it's a reinvention of itself.
Right. Maybe
And
Hollywood Studios is
this
legit
just
again.
I would say, is this just the best rides-wise and attractions, the best Disney park in the world right now?
It could be. So I feel like Smuggler's Run would be a good pick here, but I took Flight of Passage last round, and I feel, despite them being different mechanically, they're similar in structure to how the attractions take place. What do I have for thrill rides?
I think there's a super obvious pick on this list that's still left. That's actually shocking to me that it's still left.
Well, I mean, at this point, I need to bring the kids in, similar to what Drew did with his Frozen Ever After attraction, and I have to take. Some would argue, if you're not going to include Rise of the Resistance as a dark ride, I'm going to take Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway as the 36th pick. So let's lock it in with the 36th pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft. Mickey's Global Adventure selects his very own ride, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, from Disney Hollywood Studios.
Good pick.
I mean, I'm surprised at the attractions that are on the board from that park still, because I was really wrestling with Star Tours. I'm a big Star Tours supporter, especially the remake version of it. It's a great attraction. There it is. Tim's showing you right now. And I got to tell you, Slinky Dog and even Rock and Roller Coaster, I think the problem for me with Rock and Roller Coaster is it's a very limited audience. You got to be 48 inches or taller to get on that attraction. It's not necessarily as kid-friendly as I would have liked. But for me, I think, again, the steal of the draft to this point is still when Drew was able to take Kilimanjaro Safaris in round 8 in the third pick in that round.
No. Pirates Battle for Sunken Treasure is
That's
still
true.
the biggest steal of the draft.
So
it was
let's be honest. Village Utopia, he's putting together a good little park.
Let me just say, Village Utopia somehow did not have one first round draft pick.
Yes, you did.
But I think you're still the best park. I'm voting for Village Utopia in the poll. You have the Polynesian, the Edison, Extraterrestrial. Your park is nutso right now.
I'm happy with it.
Yeah,
I'm booking a flight.
I got to tell you, I think Drew might win this one, guys. And we got one more round to go here. But
I mean,
Drew's
where are we
park
putting
looks
this
legit.
park? Because I mean, as long as it's not in like an active war zone or Siberia, I'm booking a ticket tomorrow for it.
I'm in.
So here we are, folks. Round 10, pick 37. Mickey's Global Adventure is on the clock, and we are in the Magic Kingdom. And he's got some work to do here. I guess there's really only 2 attractions this pick could be. Anyone want to go first in this round? I'm willing to entertain a straight swap of draft picks.
I will.
Not sure how that works.
Yeah, it's the last round.
Swap.
Yeah, all right. So, Jordana, you are officially on the clock with Imagineer Falls, and I will pick next.
Okay. Thank you, Bub. Yep. I'm going to go #Tiana Takeover, Splash Mountain.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you made my choice easy. You made my choice easy.
All right. I think it's it goes with my thrill, and it goes with the falls kind of theme. So.
Oh, yeah.
Ah.
Turned into an up attraction.
Yeah, I could do whatever I want.
We did have a trade at the 37th pick. There was a Imagineer Falls traded up to get the 1 pick in the draft in this round, and with that pick, Splash Mountain is off the board from Magic Kingdom. And now Mickey's Global Adventure is on the clock, and the pick is in with the 38th pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft. Mickey's Global Adventure selects Big Thunder Mountain from Frontierland. And that means that Villains Utopia is on the clock.
It's a
You
good
got a
pick.
train theme going,
Good
Bub.
ride. Yeah, a little bit. A lot of good rides left. A lot of good attractions. And I mean, again, oh man, the second page. Jesus, I didn't see this.
Yeah, there's a lot of attractions here.
Can we talk about that last one?
We can,
Oh,
but yeah, no brainer, 100%. Haunted Mansion locked me in.
there you go.
Oh, I have a background up right now, so
You do. All right. So I'm up, right?
Yeah.
You watch, yeah,
All right.
all you.
All right.
So
hold on. I'm sorry, guys. I missed that pick. Drew, what was that pick?
I'm going with Haunted Mansion.
Good pick. Good pick. So with the 39th pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft, Villains Utopia selects the most theme-appropriate attraction that he's picked, Haunted Mansion. And that means to close it, Mr. Irrelevant, the 40th pick in the draft goes to Cinemagine.
So looking back, other than Soarin', I only have rides that can be categorized as dark rides. And I think I'm just going to embrace that. And I am going to go with, we still want a little bit of a thrill.
Peter Pan's Flight.
No, absolutely not.
A little bit of a thrill.
I'm trying to go.
Seven Dwarfs Mine
I'm trying
Train.
to decide between Seven Dwarfs and Space Mountain, but I think we're going Seven Dwarfs.
Wow. I mean, I love Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah.
I think it's good, and it makes it so that everything's rideable by like basically anybody but the smallest kids.
Well, we could have probably done 2 or 3 rounds of Magic Kingdom Park picks, to be honest with you guys.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things still on the board there. But, all right, that is with the 40th pick in the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft. Cinemagine selects Seven Dwarfs Mine Train from Fantasyland in Magic Kingdom. And that will close our first annual Disney Parks. Please stay tuned for our post-draft analysis coming up now.
Now, yes.
Do you have a commercial break?
Nope. Break.
No, we don't do commercial breaks here.
So as you guys can see, if you're watching the video here, it is up here, the store card, if you want to call it that. And Bob, you had first round pick technically. So why don't you try to go through your park, recap it really quick, and any other extra things you want to talk
So
about?
I did win the draft lottery, and I picked the Boardwalk Inn for my resort in the first round. I think that was the most secure pick that I made in this draft, just because you get all the entertainment features that comes with the Boardwalk. It's a big resort. It's got a great pool. It's got great restaurants. It's got great facilities. It's got, it's not cheap. It's not for everybody. But we're gonna have a coupon day at the Boardwalk Inn, so we're excited about that. And with our non-resort restaurant, which I think kind of goes with the Boardwalk Inn's theme a little bit, we did go Boathouse, which will be stationed at the Boardwalk Inn as well. So there was some method to that madness as well. When we got to round 3, I had the first pick again. And to no one's surprise, I picked Horizons as my retired attraction. That'll be the anchor to one side of my park. I'm very excited about getting Horizons where we did. Obviously, picking up Phantom Manor and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea in the foreign parks category was huge for us. They're good experiences. And we have a lot of basic dark ride attractions that we think a lot of people can enjoy over at Mickey's Global Adventure. The show and parade we went with a nighttime show from Tokyo to bring it over. Dreamlights, it's a fun show. Not a lot of people stateside have seen it or really know about it. So we think that's going to be a good draw for people. And finally, we went to a couple thrill rides back to back where we made some trades around with Cinemagine, and we picked up Test Track from Epcot with the first pick in that round, and we traded for the first pick in Animal Kingdom as well where we picked up Flight of Passage, which really is a great thrill ride for us. We're excited to have it. And Hollywood Studios, we had the last pick in that round due to the trade with Cinemagine. We were excited to get Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway where we did in that round. We were surprised it was still there. We were excited. And then we made a trade at round 10 as well. We couldn't decide. We had two prospects on the board that were clearly the best two for us. We did have Splash Mountain and we did have Big Thunder Mountain as our 1 and 1A. So when we made that trade, we made a good deal with Imagineer Falls. We got the number 2 pick in that round and gave the number 1 pick, and we got cash considerations depending on total gate revenue from Imagineer Falls and merchandise sales for making that trade. So we were excited about that, and we picked up Big Thunder Mountain with the second pick. So we really could have gone either way with that. And we were glad to get Big Thunder Mountain there and get a residual kickback from Splash Mountain being taken ahead of us in that round. So we're excited. We think it's a good park, and we were really happy with our draft process. The guys behind me worked really hard with some of those trades that we made. So we're excited. And Drew, how do you think you guys did over at Villains Utopia?
Yeah, so Villains Utopia, 100%. I felt great about it. I tried to stay a little bit of a themed if I could, but if not, that was okay. The main goal was to pick, rides that I enjoy that I think are fantastic attractions. So I started off with my resort over at the Polynesian. Kind of wanted to maybe, think about it in the way of now if it kind of forces you to stay at this resort, a resort that everyone should at least visit if you can't afford it during these times, like Tim capitalized. This is the opportunity to stay there if you can for a decent price. My restaurant of choice, I went with the Edison, which is located over at Disney Springs. We'll be moving that over to the Polynesian, as well as this kind of like a punk rock type. I don't really know what else. What Gothic? What do they call it?
Steampunk.
Steampunk. Which also has some amazing entertainment as far as some high-end nice food as well. So very cool place to go to. Now for my retired attraction, of course, I had to bring back the extraterrestrial alien encounter attraction. And then in the foreign lands, I decided to go somewhat local and somewhat foreign. Radiator Sprint Racers, which if you don't know, pretty much think the best way to describe it is Test Track, which is the car's theme, and it's absolutely phenomenal, fun attraction. Brings that Disney magic to Test Track and the IPs in. The other one I picked is Pirates of the Caribbean: Battle of the Sunken Treasure, and everyone knows Pirates of the Caribbean, located over in Magic Kingdom. Pretty much, I hate to say throw it out the window, but think of that times 1,000 on steroids with virtually wall screens, talking like 100-foot screen walls, which pretty much is the technical side of it is astronomical, and it's just
some
it's
of the best
underwater
visual effects
yeah,
in any ride.
It's unbelievable. You should definitely just go watch a YouTube. I know I don't like to say go spoil yourself, but this is located in a part that there's a chance you may never visit. So definitely go check that out. For my nighttime spectacular show parade, Fantasmic, personally, again, my favorite, but also fits the theme. Over in Epcot, Frozen Ever After, Animal Kingdom, I snuck somehow in there and got Kilimanjaro Safari. Very happy with that choice. And then Hollywood Studios, Tower of Terror, and lastly, Magic Kingdom, The Haunted Mansion. Very happy with all of my picks. I don't think there was one that I really got stuck on or didn't know what to do. So very happy with that. Jordana was number 3, right? Over in Imagineer Falls?
Yeah. So starting off with round 1, I picked Grand Floridian, which honestly I was going to go with Polly, but Drew picked it right before me. And I'm pretty happy with my choice just because of all the amenities included. So Grand Floridian obviously has a lot going on. Round 2 with the non-resort restaurants, I chose Be Our Guest, which I think I chose it because it goes so well with the Grand Floridian, I think. The theming as far as the atmosphere and everything. So overall, I stand by it. And then round 3, I went with the Great Movie Ride. We all miss it, so I think even though it doesn't really fit my theme, I think that it's a fun family ride. Round 4, I chose the Incredicoaster, which again goes with my theme. I was kind of trying to go with Pixar related. And yeah, so I obviously had to go with that one. I was going to go again with Radiator Springs Racers, but Drew stole it from me again.
Yep. Love it.
And then, but that's the one that I traded with Bub for that round. So, round 5, I did Crush's Coaster from Disneyland Paris. That one seems like a lot of fun. That's going to go right next to where in Epcot I chose the Seas with Nemo and Friends, including Turtle Talk. So we have a whole thing going on there. Back to round 6 for my nighttime spectacular. I chose Happily Ever After, which is literally my favorite show ever, and there's a lot of Pixar representation in there. For Animal Kingdom, I chose Expedition Everest because at this point we were just going with thrills. I was going to go Kilimanjaro Safari, but doesn't really fit. Round 9, I did Toy Story Mania because we do need some sort of Toy Story representation. And then with my Magic Kingdom pick, hashtag Tiana Takeover, went with Splash Mountain. I think, guys, you are going to have a hard time park because I park out there. I'm just saying.
Bold statement.
Mm-hmm.
We will see. Tim, bring us home on describing your park here.
All right. So I went Animal Kingdom Lodge started off. I was surprised that it was left for the 4th pick. I picked, but I think maybe it gets overlooked because it's kind of stuck away on its own. Definitely a good value, so to say, for a deluxe resort. So oftentimes the same price as some of the higher end moderates. Probably the best restaurants between Boma, Sanaa, and Jico. For my non-resort restaurant, I took Chef Art Smith's Homecoming because the one knock on the food side of things for Animal Kingdom is people who are not adventurous eaters, so to say, sometimes have a hard time even finding stuff at the quick service at Animal Kingdom Lodge. So Chef Art Smith is just really, really well executed Southern food, so not really anything crazy going on there for people. From there, we moved into Retired, where I kind of just took a fun pick kind of out there because Cinemagine is a made-up word that means nothing. So I decided to go with things that are like experiences and take you to another world. And Captain EO, I think, does a good job of doing that. I will admit I would have taken Extraterrestrial Alien Encounter if it was not picked, but I think Drew astutely picked that.
Of course.
After that, this is the pick I regret the most because I tried to be too smart for my own good on Foreign and assumed that nobody else on our very well enough to know that Pirates of the Caribbean was the whole different ride in Shanghai. So I took Sinbad Storybook Voyage, which is a personal favorite of mine, and definitely my favorite of the things on that list that I've experienced, but I probably could have saved that for later.
That's true.
After that, I took Mystic Manor, which is the trackless dark ride version of the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland Hong Kong. Followed that up with Big Band Beat at Tokyo Disney Sea, which is certainly a unique attraction all on its own, and probably the best show in a theme park. It did mean passing up a nighttime spectacular, so hopefully the people who come to my park like to ride rides instead of going to the fireworks. And Epcot kind of proved itself to be the drought that it's turning into. I grabbed Soarin', which I think is a big experience, and as long as you get the center cars, it's good enough. Took Dinosaur at Animal Kingdom. Great ride. We're just going to tune up those Amtraks, make the thing work. Traded into Rise of the Resistance because I was not going to get that ride. And I think that's the centerpiece of the park and the big reason for people to try to show up. And I was surprised Seven Dwarfs is still hanging around last pick, since that is consistently the longest wait at the Magic Kingdom these days, and kind of fits with my theme of taking people on these big experiences while also being a thrill ride, which my park is currently lacking.
Yeah, it's pretty much sums up our draft. I think it was a good draft all around. Looking at the scorecard and the parks, I think we ought to be proud of the parks that we built. I think we had, believe it or not, a kind of a concept that we all were going with, and I think there were 4 unique concepts with how we did the parks. I think they're really well done. I think we should be proud of these parks. Maybe we should apply for jobs at Imagineering and say, hey, let's build these parks,
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
I mean, Tim, I'm going to have to pass on you calling your park Cinemagine, but hey, that's your business. So,
I agree. And as we alluded to a few times, the plan is we're going to have this nice scorecard that we've been showing drafted over on Facebook, and we will be posting that as a poll starting Tuesday morning, really tonight, as soon as we're ending this thing, for all of you guys to vote. And next week, we'll let everyone know which one of us 4 have designed, I guess you could call it, the best part, fantasy-wise, of course. And we'll win absolutely nothing except pride, my friend.
Yeah.
And pride means everything at the Disney Guys Uncensored. So
do you mean I'm not getting a sticker?
I'll give you a sticker, Bub. How about that?
There you go.
And Bub, I do have to clarify something since you did bring up my dumb name again. I did find that list I was talking about. And it was not Boomerang. The inanimate object they chose was Kaleidoscope. So in a different world, we could have been visiting
Boomerang.
Disney's Kaleidoscope, located adjacent to the Epcot. I also could have gone with Cinemagic, Legends, or Hyperia. That was the short list of possible.
Magic.
I think they made the correct choice of not changing it. I think these are all really bad. Or Disney's Beyond Park was also available.
Yeah, it's beyond something already.
Yeah.
It's the other white meat.
Absolutely. All right. I mean, that was fun. We had some great pits there. I mean, some great conversation. Hopefully, you guys as a listener learned a little bit about some of the attractions and I guess other things that we chose. Definitely some of those foreign parts you guys should all try to check out when you have some time. But before we wrap up the show, do you guys have anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I would just like to state for the record that Zach Morris is still trash.
And I also, after completing this draft, do we still think that even with Tom Brady in Tampa Bay, he's still the number 1 pick?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
All
I
right, guys.
pray to God when we do fantasy football, Jordana gets the first pick and takes him first. I
I
can't
hope
wait.
she does too.
This year might be a good time to take him first. He's got some weapons.
Hey,
No,
don't deny it.
he
It'll
does,
work
he does
one
have
of these
some
years.
weapons, Bob. I agree there.
Yeah.
But or maybe we're just trying to tell all the listeners that so they'll pick them first round.
That's
Anywho,
true.
thanks so much for listening. This was a fun time. Let us know, even if you didn't have a chance to watch the live feed tonight. Provide us the feedback. We'd love to see how this played and what you guys thought on it. But that doesn't wrap this week's episode. Oh, go ahead, Tim.
The video of this will be up on YouTube also. So if you missed it,
Correct.
we will have this up on YouTube for you guys.
Absolutely. And that's going to wrap up this week's episode of the Disney Parks Fantasy Draft. Feedback, questions, or comments, email us at DisneyGuysUncensored@gmail.com or even send us a message over on Facebook. We'll get those and get back to you instantly. Remember to reach out to Jordana Izzo from the Disney Guys Uncensored and Travelmation, an authorized Disney vacation planner. Reach out to her and she can help you plan the most magical vacation, whether you're going to Walt Disney World or any Disney park or any vacation in general. Jordana Izzo at travelmation.net. Be sure to head over to any of your listening platforms, especially iTunes. Give us a like, give us a review, 5 stars. YouTube, get over there, subscribe to us. Absolutely, like Tim said, this will be a live feed there as well as our Facebook page. If you want to try to check those things out, definitely do that. And as always, consider supporting us for $1 or $2 a month over at Patreon. We would really appreciate that. All our information about all of our social media, joining our Patreon page, all those things can be found in our show notes every week, right under the details tab under your listening platform. We hope you enjoy the show, and thanks for listening to the Disney Guys Uncensored.